Kitchen islands have long proven to be indispensable in preparing meals. If you add a few stools, they're also terrific as informal eating areas. They're also convenient and comfortable for socializing and providing additional dining spaces for visitors or party guests. Naturally, you also want to give them some care and attention they deserve. Simphome.com has collected 12 kitchen island makeover ideas, including a few other kitchen DIY solutions I think you'll find quite useful. 12. Expensive-looking countertop. Have you ever wanted a butcher countertop but find their prices out of your reach? What if there's an alternative? It looks just as expensive, yet only costs a fraction, and it's also durable. The secret is using edge-glued pine that comes in 2x4 and 1 1/4 inch thick. You'll find them in several home improvement stores. One downside is that if you need larger sizes, you'll have to edge-glue them to cover your island counter. It isn't a complicated process and only lets you wait overnight for the glue to dry. Then it's merely a matter of cutting the holes and dimensions to the right size. After giving it a thorough sanding, use a penetrating stain and a waterproof polyurethane sealer. 11. Build a kitchen island with IKEA base cabinets. Take a massive load off your shoulders from a DIY island counter project using 3 IKEA kitchen base cabinets. First, use 2x4s for the rectangular base and anchor them to the floor with L-shaped brackets. Make sure you have enough toe kick depth and add at least one support bar in the middle. You'll then attach a rectangular vertical frame with 4 support columns spaced evenly. Next, install the 3 IKEA base cabinets. You can also add a suspended bookshelf on one side. After that, cover the vertical frame with an MDF sheet. You can then install the butcher block countertop with 1 to 5 inches of overhang, cut 5/8 in VF to build 2 4x4 posts to support the overhang corners. 10. Plank backsplash project. Here's a very cheap method of adding a wooden plank backsplash look to your kitchen. To save a ton on a waterproof wood, use self-adhesive faux wood vinyl floor panels instead. You can peel off the protective plastic layer and start sticking the bottom row. Be sure to press on the vinyl hard for stronger adhesion. When you're on the next level, you can place them brick style. Make cuts for any necessary holes like outlets. When you've filled up the area above your countertops, paint it with 2 coats of chalky finish paint for a more rustic look. Don't mind if the wood grain still shows, it would make the backsplash seem more authentic. 9. Pimp your toe kick. Arguably the most overlooked part of the kitchen is the toe kick. It's the recessed space just under the cabinet doors that let you stick your toes while leaning on the base counters. One way to give it some love besides painting it in a different color is with the creative use of contact paper and gaffer's tape. First, cut long strips of gold contact paper to the height of your toe kick. Peel off the back and stick it on all your toe kicks, including those under your island. You can use various colored gaffer's tape to the pattern you want for a more colorful effect. 8. Reviving an old kitchen island. Before the entire kitchen paint job, this small rectangular island received a shiplap treatment. However, instead of buying expensive shiplap boards, you can substitute cut 1/4 inch plywood strips and achieve the same effect. Install the panel on flat sides with no doors or drawers. This minor detail is worth the effort and would make the island seem more expensive and well built. For the paint color, try something different from the other counters. In this case, the owner painted all the cabinets white. However, they opted for a light gray shade for the island that made it stand out from the rest of the cabinets. 7. Concrete countertop. There's a less complicated way than molding an entire concrete slab for your kitchen island. Using your current countertop, you can apply 3 coats of Ardex feather finish concrete. Ensure your surface is rough enough by sanding it with 60 to 80 grit sandpaper so the Ardex would stick to it properly. It's best to get rid of any clear finish entirely. Mix the cement with water and a plastic pail to the consistency of a pancake mix. For the edges, you'll wait for it to harden like molding clay before you shape it. If you want to stain it, apply 2 coats of Ardex SDM after 2 of the feather finish for a more consistent finish. After sanding it smooth and staining, apply a stain-resistant acrylic sealer. 6. Trimmed cabinet drawer. To give more definition and detail to your kitchen island drawers, you could add a small decorative trim to the faces. It's a pretty straightforward project that would probably take you only a few hours to finish. Most of it you'll spend cutting the trims. You'll have to line them up straight across all drawers and not just a single one. That's important, so you're sure they won't look crooked or uneven. It's best to use a miter saw or a miter box to cut the 45-degree angle precisely. Use a brad nailer and some glue to attach the trims. Then apply putty on holes and gaps. Sand them smooth and paint. 5. $50 kitchen island update. Usually the outer side of the kitchen island is a blank slate. Adding a diagonal trim pattern will make the island stand out. It's a breeze to do and will only cost around $50. It's up to you to put a random or regular pattern, whatever the design is. It's best to draw it first on the surface with chalk, then line your drawing with painter's tape to get a better idea of how it will look. Attach corner moldings with liquid nails and secure them with tape. Start cutting pieces that reach end to end in your design and attach them with brads. After that, you can add the shorter pieces at the opposite diagonal angle. Apply caulk, sand, and paint. 4. DIY kitchen island project idea. Building an entire kitchen island from scratch may be intimidating. However, it would be easier if you include pre-built cabinets. Tape an outline on the floor where it will stand, then head over to the nearest Home Depot with your measurements. Try to find the closest cabinet combinations that fit. In this case, the owner chose a center cabinet with a top drawer and 2 doors and picked 2 smaller 3-drawer side cabinets. You can screw 2x4s on the floor and screw the cabinets to those boards, ensuring they're level. Add MDF strips to cover any seams and add baseboards. After prepping and painting, you can install the countertop with about 16-inch overhang on one side. 3. Dream Island idea. Here's another example where the owner smartly used a pre-built cabinet to construct a kitchen island. This island takes up 9 by 2 feet of floor space. It has the same footprint as the previous one they tore down. They wanted to follow the same dimension to avoid patching the exposed wooden floor. After finding a bargain-priced 5-foot base cabinet at the Restore, they anchored it on the floor and installed a 2-foot wide wine cooler on the right. Still 2 feet short to cover the exposed wood, they decided to add 1-foot deep open shelves on each end. After that, they installed a butcher block countertop with a 2-inch overhang all around. 2. Turn a Billy bookcase into a new pantry storage. You can try a pantry hack using IKEA Billy bookcases instead of their pantry cabinets. The primary motivation for doing it is the much lower price. Usually, IKEA pantry furniture costs 3 to 4 times more than their basic bookcases. You'll save a lot of money going this route instead. The pantry cabinets have more depth, but the regular bookcases can also accommodate most pantry containers without any problem. Even better, the shelves are height adjustable. The first thing to do is measure the space you plan to put your pantry. Then go to an IKEA store and find the closest fitting cabinet combo. You might want to splurge on doors available with glass upper halves. Before I finish this countdown, support the channel by pressing subscribe button under the video. Keep us in your subscription tabs for more home and garden improvement ideas like this. And finally, let's close out our countdown with, lastly, number 1, slate countertop ideas. For the top and bottom frames, long sides, start cutting 8 2x4-inch pieces to the length you want. Join 2 pieces lengthwise, forming an L shape. This build primarily uses glue and evenly spaced 3-inch screws. For the sides, cut 4 to the width you need. Grab 2 of the L-shaped 2x4s for the bottom rectangle and attach 2 shorter 2x4s at both ends. Do the same for the top frame, but add 4 evenly spaced 2x4 bracings. Then start filling the bottom rectangle with several closely spaced 1 by 1/4 inch times 1 1/4 inch slats for the bottom floor. For the legs, cut 4 2x4s and raise the bottom frame a few inches using small scrapwood pieces. Attach the top rectangle flush to the top of the legs. After that, you can install the slate countertop using silicone caulk. Use a sanding sponge to smooth it, and apply a mineral oil conditioner for cutting boards to seal the surface. Conclusion: I'm sure you've noticed that you can save a lot of money by using pre-built cabinetry on your DIY kitchen or pantry build. If you can find these cabinets on the cheap, not only will they make the construction phase a breeze, but you can DIY without breaking the bank. For more DIY money-saving tips and other useful home improvement solutions, visit semphome.com. That's it for now. Since you're still watching this video, press that like button, comment on it, or share it with anyone close to you in your favorite social media channel. Browse and follow SempHome website for more amazing content related to home and decor ideas. And until we meet again later sometime in the future, thanks for watching.